Rian Johnson made a murder mystery set in a church where the victim is a MAGA preacher who rants about feminist Marxist whores from the pulpit. And somehow it's not preachy, it's one of the smartest, funniest films about belief and anger I've seen in years. This is Wake Up Dead Man, the third Knives Out movie, and honestly, it might be the best one. Welcome back. Today we're talking about Wake Up Dead Man, the new Benoit Blanc mystery that just dropped on Netflix. I watched this twice in 2 days because the first time I was just trying to solve the mystery. The second time I realised what Rian Johnson's actually pulling off here. Let's get into it. So Daniel Craig's back as Benoit Blanc, but here's the thing, he doesn't even show up for the first half hour. Instead, we follow this young priest named Jud, played by Josh O'Connor, who used to be a boxer before he killed a guy in the ring and found God. Now he's been shipped off to this tiny church upstate where the head priest is basically building a MAGA cult from the pulpit, sermons about taking back Christian America, YouTube videos titled There's God in Doge, the whole 9 yards, and then that priest gets murdered on Good Friday in a locked church, and everyone thinks Judd did it. Josh O'Connor is insane in this, genuinely might be the performance of the year. He's playing this terrified kid trying to figure out how to serve a loving God in a church that only preaches hate and fear. There's this scene where he describes himself as young, dumb, and full of Christ, and it shouldn't work, but it absolutely does. You feel for this guy immediately. The mystery itself is classic Agatha Christie locked room stuff, impossible crime, everyone's a suspect, the whole thing. But Johnson's using it to talk about right now. About how people get radicalized, how charismatic leaders weaponize anger, how everyone's so convinced they're right that actual truth doesn't matter anymore. The congregation is full of people who feel screwed over by life, and this dead priest was telling them their rage was holy. One of them literally built a moat around his house. That's the level of paranoia we're dealing with. But here's what makes this work. Johnson doesn't just mock these people, he's trying to understand them. Where does that anger come from? Why do they need someone to tell them they're under attack? Judd keeps saying the church should serve the world, not fight it. And Blanc, who's an atheist and proud of it, has to figure out how to solve a mystery in a world run on faith instead of facts. The scenes with Blanc and Judd are incredible. They're complete opposites. Blanc's all logic and skepticism, literally announcing he's a heretic while standing in a church. Judd's trying to hold on to his faith while watching it get twisted into something ugly. And they have these debates about belief that are actually intelligent, not the usual movie bullshit about religion. You watch them slowly realise they are fighting for the same thing from different angles. Johnson's script is so sharp here, the dialogue pops, the structure keeps twisting in ways you don't see coming. Yeah, the plot gets complicated, yeah, you're not going to solve it, but that's never been the point with these movies. They're not about who did it. They're about why. And this one's asking bigger questions than the first two. What surprised me most is how optimistic this is. Johnson's looking at how divided and angry everyone is right now and saying you can still find common ground. You can disagree with someone completely and still respect them. That should feel naive or preachy, but it doesn't, because he shows you how hard it is first. He doesn't sugarcoat the ugliness, but then he shows you these two guys, a believer and a skeptic, actually listening to each other, and that feels revolutionary right now. Visually, this is gorgeous. The church interiors, the stained glass, the way light cuts through the darkness. This was made for Netflix, but it looks like a real movie. Johnson and his cinematographer Stephen Yedlin are doing career best work here, and the editing is perfect. 2 hours and 21 minutes, but it never drags. You're locked in the whole time. This is definitely darker than Glass Onion. Johnson said he was going for Edgar Allan Poe vibes, and you can feel it. Gothic church setting, crypts, a Good Friday murder. It's all more sinister, but it's also funnier than you'd expect. There's a confession scene that's both hilarious and deeply uncomfortable. The tonal balance is wild. You're laughing 1 second and then you're not, and somehow it all works. Is it perfect? No, the mystery gets a bit tangled toward the end. Some of the contemporary stuff, like the YouTube channel and the influencer character, feels a little obvious, but honestly, those are minor complaints because what this movie gets right is so much bigger. Should you watch it? If you like the first two, this is better. If you want a mystery that's actually about something, this is it. If you just want to see Josh O'Connor be incredible, don't sleep on this. It's on Netflix right now. No excuse. Stay for the mid-credits scene. They're setting up another one, and based on what they're teasing, I'm already in. The thing that sticks with me about Wake Up Dead Man is this: it believes you can be completely wrong about something and still be worth talking to. You can be a man of faith with blood on your hands. You can be a skeptic who still fights for justice. That nuance feels rare right now, and that's why this one matters. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.